Now, Dacia has always been known for its cheap cars, but they have never had anything that introduced families to the brand, unless you wanted a cheap feeling Dacia Duster. Well, recently, this has changed with the newest Duster and the Jogger. Now though, you can get an even bigger car which rivals the Nissan Qashqai and Vauxhall Grandland. This is the new Dacia Bigster. Let's have a look to see what it is like and if it feels cheap or if it feels quite good. Welcome to Everything Cars and More. So, as you may be able to tell, the Bigster is based on the Duster. This means you get the same front end design with a broken dog bone style front end. This can be seen with the LED daytime running lights and white broken style grille. We also get LED headlights too, which is quite nice. Lower down we get a very almost square central air vent and a lot of recyclable plastic, giving it a rugged off-roader look. It is also very boxy at the front too to help this. Moving around to the side, and this is where we can see the difference between the Duster and Bigster. The Bigster is much longer than the Duster, 23 centimeters to be precise. This helps with interior space. More on that in a moment. We don't actually get a lot of creases on the side apart from some haunches on over the rear and front wheels. This gives it a wider presence on the road. We also get a lot more recyclable plastic cladding around the wheel arches and seals, giving it a Defender style. And we also get a hidden rear door handle like the Renault Clio's. We also have some cool looking roof bars too to show off its off-roader family look. Moving around to the back of the Bigster, and it is almost identical to the Duster, but the boot design is slightly different with a bigger number plate bar. The lower bumper also looks more rugged too, and we still get the same style rear spoiler and tail lights. Overall though, it does look quite more modern and not like a Dacia has before. Right, let's have a look and see what engine and gearbox options you can have with the new Dacia Duster. So for the engine range there are three options to choose from. Let's start with the first model, and this has a 1.2 litre turbo mild hybrid setup. This has 138 brake horsepower and can do 0 to 62 within 9.8 seconds, which isn't too bad. The power is sent to the front wheels for a 6-speed manual gearbox. The next version uses the same 1.2 turbo mild hybrid setup, but the power has been reduced slightly to 128 brake horsepower, as too has the 0 to 62 time down to 11.2 seconds. This is because the power is sent for a 6-speed manual to all four wheels, which makes this car that bit heavier. The final version uses a 1.8 litre naturally aspirated engine with full hybrid technology. This has two electric motors, giving this car 153 brake horsepower. This can do 0 to 62 in 9.7 seconds, which isn't too bad, and the power is sent to the front wheels for an automatic 4+2 multi-transmission with 4 gears for the engine and 2 gears for the electric motor, getting the best efficiency out of this car. The price of the Dacia Bigster starts at £25,215, which is decent, and it undercuts some rivals by £3,000. Right, let's have a look at the interior. So, climb inside the new Bigster, and there is no surprise that it has the same interior setup as the Duster. We get this horizontal dashboard design which feels very modern and also high up, so it makes you feel like you are sitting lower than you actually are, giving it a sports car feel, which I like. We also get a lot of bright coloured plastic too. The infotainment system is the latest Android automotive software, which is easy to use and navigate. The climate control switches are on the screen, but there are some toggle switches for the essential functions, which is great. We also get a digital instrument cluster which is very easy to read and is quite simple too, and it's just refreshing to see this. You also get a little phone holder and some Y-style air vents which are quite quirky. Another nice feature is that you also have a button to turn off the ADAS systems very easily. Nice thinking, Dacia. As I've said before, the centre console is quite high up, which is rare on a cheaper car, but you also get an armrest and plenty of storage too. There is also your gear selector toggle and some USB-C ports. The seats are also supportive and comfy, just like the usual Renault seats. Right, let's have a look to see what the rear seats are like. So, getting into the back of the Bigster, and there is plenty of headroom and class-leading legroom, which is great. I must also mention that the doors do open quite wide too, so it is much easier to get child seats in the back. You also get some air vents and USB-C connectors, as well as some accessories to hold things in the back. What I am not so sure about though is the armrest. It is part of the seat which I am okay with, as we have seen this before, but it is cheap hard plastic, so you wouldn't want to rest your arm on the armrest because it's too hard. It is a bit of a shame really. The plastics aren't the best in the back either, but then I am okay with this surprisingly, because it is a cheap SUV and most likely it will have kids in the back, which means you want to have easily wipeable plastics, not expensive leather that can get damaged. Right, let's have a look and see what the boot space is like. So, opening the boot to the Bigster, and you're welcomed with 612 litres of space. This is actually 140 litres more than the Duster, and also more than the Nissan Qashqai, on which it is based on and rivals. You also have a false floor and even a spare wheel, which is very rare nowadays. Folding the seats down, and you're welcomed with 1,851 litres, which is very big, and the rear seats also lay completely flat, which is very handy for long items. So, in summary then, what do I think of the Dacia Bigster? Well, in a way you must view this car that it has been designed with families in mind, not for luxury. It is easy on the eye, with rugged looks to protect it from car park dings, as well as livable interior that can easily be wiped down if you need to. It also has great technology too, and a great engine choice for everyone. Really, for a cheap family SUV, this isn't a bad option and is definitely worth considering, especially if it is within your budget. So, what do you think of this car then? Leave a comment below, and whilst you're at it, don't forget to give a like and subscribe to Everything Cars and More. I'll see you in the next video.